Hey, what's up, y'all? John from the One Carolina Show coming to you with another edition of Couch Chronicles. And man, 3 steps forward, 1 big giant step back. We got smashed, man. Embarrassed, destroyed, humiliated, however you want to call it. But I would say all is not lost. There's a lot that we can take away from this game, right? And there's some things that I think, in my opinion, and I know some people will probably disagree with this, right? Considering the emotions of the moment, that there was a few good things that I saw as well. Some things that offer some promise. I'll give a couple of examples. One thing that I thought that offered promise, I felt like Trevin Wallace kind of took a turn for the better in some ways, and still some struggles there, but he's getting more of a command of his position, and I like to see that, right? Mike Jack, early in the game, struggled, but then, started to come around. The run defense, obviously, in a whole, was bad, but I also believe that kind of is a result of also the fact that your offense was playing as horrible as it was, and when you turn the ball over as many times as we did today, it's not a winning formula. It demoralizes a defense. But you know what else demoralizes a defense? Running the ball. You know what demoralizes a defense even more? When you run the ball effectively, right? Now, I'm not going to say all that I have to say because I have a lot to say, right? And I'm sure that some of the clips that I put out this week may get me in some trouble, and I'm prepared for that. I noticed a clip that I put out on, I want to say it was Friday, was liked by Princely Umamiela. Shout out to Princely on X. So I know they watching, right? So with that being said, we got a clip, and we're gonna let it loose because, in my opinion, there are just some things. There's one thing in particular that I feel like might be a major issue. Now, whether or not you could say that it's because of Canales or if it's a little bit higher up issue, the point stands that when you catch lightning in the bottle, don't let it out because it's hard to do it twice, right? Very few people in their lifetime will be struck by lightning. If you live to tell about it, it's usually a fascinating story. If you happen to be a team that finds a diamond in the rough, right? It's a fascinating story. And it's something that you should kind of hinge your season on. It's happened in history, right? Terrell Davis with the Denver Broncos, Alfred Morris with the Washington, what were the Redskins and now Commanders. Brett Favre from the Falcons to the Green Bay Packers, right? Tom Brady, the 6th-round, 199th pick that took over for, mind you, a 1st overall pick, who actually played in a Super Bowl, right? So there's a little bit more credence to give to say, hey, this guy should probably still play and should still start for us. But he didn't. Why? Because they found a diamond in the rough. And I think that's a big major problem for us right now. And like I said, I'm not going to dive too far into it at the moment, but we will tomorrow on Mint Street Mondays. Make sure to show up for that. But just as a quick reaction to the game, snapping a 3-game home winning streak, a 3-game winning streak in general, right? It was tough. That was really tough. Tough to watch from start to finish, right? But I think one thing that was established, and I appreciate this, because even I'm going to say me too, as somebody who has been super, super Bryce Young supportive, seeing turnovers in back-to-back games, but him still find a way to dig himself out of those turnovers was important. But seeing those turnovers, I did waver for a moment. But now I'm unwavered. I am unwavered. This team will operate, succeed, and go as Bryce Young goes, without question, right? The way the offense is set up, the way that they've set up the roster, it's all built specifically for him. And I think that he will get better, and I think that this will help his confidence even more than it's already, as confident as he is already, right? But it's clear that this team is its success and everything else is going to ride on what he brings to the table, right? To get blasted by 40-some-odd points, I know some people would ask, well, even if Bryce was out there, you probably wouldn't have been able to stop what James Cook done. Maybe, right? But how do you stop a high-powered offense? The same way we stopped Dallas. Run the ball. Running the ball is demoralizing. Running the ball with the right player is even more demoralizing. And like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but there's a lot that will be said, on the show tomorrow. Where do I think we go from here? It's going to be tough. We lost a lot of people. Lost Brady Christensen for the season, more than likely, right? This may have been reported already. I'm recording this before I know the official report of that. So if it's true, then we can all lament together tomorrow, or you can tell me in the comments tonight, right? But yeah, we lost Brady Christensen more than likely. Austin Corbett, again, in at center. Hopefully Cade Mays, we haven't lost him. I haven't seen that report yet, but hopefully it's not even a couple of games. It's something that he can come back from pretty quickly, because Cade Mays Austin Corbett did snap the ball right into Chuba Hubbard's arm, kind of reiterating some of those same struggles and things that we saw that led to Cade Mays becoming your starting center in the first place. So a lot of the same. I just don't want to see us revert back to old habits, revert back to some of these old things that have plagued us. From the start of this season, we finally got a rhythm. And I would hope that maybe they go with the Samak kid, and maybe he's your center. Maybe they kick Austin Corbett over to guard, which is what I imagine will happen, or someone else plays the center position. I don't think it should be Corbett. I think I would revolt against that personally. I'm sure many of you would as well. But I just don't think it should be him. And no disrespect to him on a personal level. It's just, just from the production. I just personally don't think that that's a good choice. But, if that's what they choose, then, we got to roll. Do I think that the season is over as a result of some of these injuries? I'm not going to go that far. I don't. I still think you got a lot of great football to play. I think Bryce will be back next week for the Packers. That's going to be a tough game in Green Bay. Hopefully Bryce can pull out some of that magic from the last time that he played the Packers, which was, I believe, his rookie season. We saw what happened, when he played them then. So, the best that we can hope for is that the guys that are going to be coming in and filling those roles will be able to step up and, fulfill the role that they're asked to play, and that Bryce Young comes back and builds on top of what we saw, those previous games before he was out this game. So this was a tough one, though, man. It's tough to get beat at the bank like that, man. It's demoralizing, all these Buffalo Bills fans, Ashawn Robinson getting into it with Dawkins at the end of the game, Ike Ekwonu talking about how they felt like Buffalo knew their plays and all this kind of stuff. Just an ugly, ugly game. But I still think there's light at the end of the tunnel. And the light that shines the brightest as of right now is the fact that in 8 weeks in, we're still 500, right? We have not been able to say that for a very long time. So, yeah, this was bad, but hey, we're still moving in the right direction. I still have a lot of faith in what Canales and company are attempting to do. I'm still not going to, personally, I know some people may think this different. I'm personally not going to throw Evero under the bus, right? Because he can't go out and tackle. He can't put guys in, he can help put guys in certain positions, but there's a limit to what he can do as a coach. It has to be executed. So that's where I will agree with Canales when he talked about execution. But that said, that still doesn't absolve some of the things that I think are major issues that we'll talk about a little bit further tomorrow. So if you want to join me tomorrow, make sure to click the link above right here for Mint Street Mondays. Leave a comment. We'll be definitely going live tomorrow. Looking forward to that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. sharp. Until then, man, keep pounding.